Dream review. Today, I'm going to review the Dream spell in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. This is the Dream spell. You may notice that it is fucking huge. There's so much text in this spell, so I'm just going to TLDR it. You can show up in someone's dreams. I guess that made sense. But why would I want to do that? Well, from a player's perspective, you can use it for the transfer of information as the primary, thing. It works over any distance as long as they're on the same plane of existence as you, and you can talk to them for a very long time. You can talk to them for a whole 8 hours long, and they can talk back to you. So you can get some real conversations going. So demo, you can see me, the wizard, talking about some random shit and the victim who has to listen to me for 8 hours. It's very fun. You can do funny things like, I know you're asking, but Archmage Saltwater, what are the funny things that you just talked about? Well, let me tell you. First, you can harass NPCs with it. So you can show up to a random NPC's dreams and talk to them over and over and over again, and there's absolutely nothing they can do, and it's really, really funny. You can use this on either random civilians to force your DM to hate you, or you can use it on named NPCs to make those NPCs hate you a lot too, which is very, very funny. Very funny to spam this on villains. It's hilarious. Alternatively, you can blow up civilians without leaving any evidence. Because you can shape the dreams to however you want, you can make it so you yourself don't actually appear. Meaning that, and this does 3d6 damage, your civilian has like 4 health or something like that, you can pretty reliably just kill people because you only have to have met the person in order to show up in their dreams. So you can just do that and wipe out whole towns worth of people, and it's impossible to trace back to you. So that's cool if you want to do that. But is this spell any good? Well, we can compare it to another transfer of information spell, Sending. We have our things like Dream is much, much longer than Sending. Sending is 25 words. Dream is 8 hours of unbroken dialogue. Dream does damage if you wanted to, and you can has visual aids. However, Sending is much cheaper since it's a 3rd level spell and not a 5th level spell. And that leads us to the next part, which is what about Dream's damage? Because it does deal damage. Is that any good? Well, I went ahead and I ranked all of the damage of a single instance of every 5th level spell. And Dream ranks dead last. Which is saying a lot because like half these spells aren't even meant to deal damage. So this leads us to Dream's main drawback and biggest problem is that it is a 5th level spell for a spell that's kind of only purpose is to talk to people for a long time. Usually most messages you can get across by using Sending, if that's a thing you're into. Conclusion is that it's a little too restrictive, so do not take it on Bard or Warlock. Because they have a limited number of spells known, you really should not take it because it's generally not going to come up very often that you're going to need to talk to a specific NPC from really, really far away for over 8 hours. If you're in a situation where you need to repeatedly talk to an NPC for really, really far away for over 8 hours, then go ahead and take this spell. But otherwise, I just wouldn't take it. The damage it deals is pretty mediocre. By mediocre, I mean it's fucking horrible. And you can't use it in combat. Out of combat, it's still situational. But you could take it on Wizard since you get a lot of spells known. You can always find it on a scroll in some dungeon somewhere and learn it. It may come in useful at least once or twice in your campaign. So final score 4 out of 10. It's really cool and you can do lots of shenanigans and there's lots of cool applications for this spell. However, it's a little too restrictive in how many stipulations come with it. I didn't really get into this, but also it doesn't work if the target can't sleep, so you can't talk to elves with it. Additionally, the target has to be sleeping for it to work, so you might not know when they're sleeping, and it lasts 8 hours. So how it actually goes down is you use it, and then it actually waits for the person to start sleeping, and then you can talk to them for the rest of the spell. Meaning that if you don't know your target's sleep schedule, you kind of just have to guess when they're going to go to sleep. And even so, it's not even the greatest thing in the world. Being able to talk to someone from really far away is nice, sure, but it's not really worth learning this, learning the spell for a Bard or a Warlock, especially a 5th level spell for the Bard, or just your spell slot for the Warlock, considering the Warlock has a limited number of spells they can use, especially compared to Bard and Wizard. On Wizard, it's more takeable though, because you get so many more spells, you can really cram in some utility in there. Alright players, if you're not a Dungeon Master, there is nothing else for you in this video, so you can go ahead and leave. Okay, now that all the players are gone, Dungeon Masters, let me tell you how to abuse the fuck out of this spell. This is one of the greatest spells in the game. So first, the most evil thing you can do in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition is to use Dream on your players. Because, here's the thing. If a player does not or if a person does not sleep within a 24-hour period without a long rest, you have to make a DC 10 con save or get exhaustion. 6 level exhaustions and you're dead. Also, every 24 hours after the first one, the DC increases by 5, meaning that by the third day, it's basically a DC 20 con save. By the 5th day, it's almost impassable. It's almost impossible to succeed on it. Additionally, if you do the nightmare part of the dream, they fail the wisdom save, they don't get the benefit from the rest, meaning that not only do they not get the heal, and you're going to be chip damaging them down, but also that exhaustion, that doesn't count. So what you can do is you can have a high-level wizard or a group of high-level wizards spam this on your party. Then they don't get the benefits from the rest because the save's going to be really high, and also you can give them disadvantage if you have their body parts. Then they will just slowly die of the dream's chip damage and exhaustion, which is fucking hilarious. Do not do this to your players, though. They will hate you. But if you really, really wanted to be a dick, this is the best spell in the game for you. Secondly, you can have some NPC contact players and lore dump on them because the visual aids make it great for lore dumping because you can shape whatever you want and whatever, however. Well, that's boring. Here's the cool part. Have Dream be a big part of your world. There are so many minor cool applications you can do with the world building aspect of Dream that I just came up with some things that you might do with some more minor uses that aren't really good in gameplay, but can be really neat things to have people do in a part of your world. This is a really neat spell because it's one of those things that has so many broad applications that you might not even think about that you can really incorporate in your world to make it feel more alive and in tune with magic. And I mean, I'm not even the most creative person. There's probably way more cool uses than this. So conclusion, for the DM scores, is a 9 out of 10. It's one of the best spells. In addition to being evil as fuck, you can also use this for real uses, make your world really feel more alive. This is one of my favorite spells for this reason as a dungeon master. Alright, bye.